Hey, it's Brad. Um, as a kid, I remember when I was, you know, kind of lost faith in bigger kids. I remember I saw one pulled out in the hallway. It's like, man, I thought by that age people would have their stuff figured out. And then got disillusioned with school when teacher corrected me one time that I knew I was right. I was like, well, shit, I thought these people are supposed to know what they're talking about. Um, and then people, I mean, that's just all the time. But um, like specifically got so disillusioned with the hypocrisy that I saw that I was. It made me question my faith for a while. But by that I mean it ended up being a much better thing because it let me not just fall into the same traps. Um, but that's the difference between questioning your faith, which includes questioning your beliefs, just like re-examining, and then doubting. It's drastically different, um, and that doubting just completely undermines faith. I mean, it's antithetical. It just doesn't work. But each of these things, when I was losing faith in different forms of humanity, really, um, ever since that one um, Brene Brown on Russell Brand's podcast, and she was saying, what if they're doing the best they can? That sucks. And that's a change of context where you have to go back and re-examine, you know, everything. But I mean, it's like a good game where one achievement can give you an entire fresh play style for the whole thing. Completely revitalizes the replayability. Anyway, all these are just different forms of context, and since context determines the at least momentary definition of a concept, and that's constantly, I mean, it's living. It's kind of like a memory. Anytime you pull it up and think about it again, it's refreshing it because it's a new memory and saving it again in the new um, basis. And as memories get rectified, once they're no longer causing cognitive dissonance, they've settled into their place. They're understood as just detail or as background or backstory for another thing. But while there's still some sort of a pain, there's still work to be done on it. Um, but anyway, long story long, at the end of your life and all lives, um, but really just when you die, that's allegedly what the whole process is for, right? I mean, it's understanding the context of the different parts. And that should be able to just, instantaneously, as soon as you get, if you had access to perfect knowledge, then it would just take time to, iterate through that it would take time to iterate through that to learn perfect logic, and then time with the perfect logic to iterate through that for perfect understanding. So, with enough time, which theoretically, afterlife is infinite, and so if there is anything there, which is kind of, as per this whole argument, kind of a given extension out of the fractal universe bit. I can go in more logic there another time. But anyway, where was I? What if they're doing the best they can? Yeah, that's rough. Because the context, evolves after you define it. You've got just basic control on, and then it just develops on its own. It's emergent behavior that if you could program it with that perfect knowledge beforehand, it would work out the same as if you had programmed it perfect afterwards. It's like trying to get two cameras or a camera take 2 times to line up perfectly on the track. Well, you're gonna have to have a computer or some sort of machine or just ridiculously precise cameraman handle it to be able to perfectly copy the motion of the camera. There are a lot of variables there. And all these things, it gets a little bit off the rails because I have a dozen other things coming to the top of my mind I want to transition to and explore. But all in all, it comes down to after time, what would exist is those stories, all the details and additional context, all would be rectified or forgotten. And that's where you get to the Book of the Dead, or that's a different video, a different series of videos. I'm not doing those yet. The Book of Life, with the land of the forgotten and the land of the remembered. And those forgotten are just kind of locked in an abyss because they exist but aren't instantiated. It's kind of the place where the Akashic record and those sort of concepts exist, but that's kind of tantamount to the consciousness of God existing, the consciousness of some unified entity there that's lucid aside from you. Because as you got older, and I realized, well, when am I going to become an adult? When do these transitions feel significant? And then at some point, like Joe Rogan said, somebody calls you sir. Oh, I'm an adult now. Okay. Well, who's to say death's going to be any different? You'll even feel that transition.